welcome back to Rating the List, where we review, discuss, and reimagine popular movie lists objectively. We're your hosts. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Brad. And on this episode, we'll be exploring number 16 from AFI's 100 Years, 100 Passions, the 100 Greatest Love Stories of All Time.
All right, number 16 is Singing in the Rain, released in 1952, directed by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly, starring Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds.
The synopsis for this movie musical is as follows. Don Lockwood, played by Gene Kelly, is a popular silent film star with humble roots. Don barely tolerates his spoiled and conniving co-star Lena Lamont, though their studio links them romantically to increase their popularity. Lena believes they are truly in love, despite Don's protestations to otherwise. After the premiere of their latest film, Don jumps into a car of passing motorist Kathy Selden, played by Debbie Reynolds, to escape fans. Because of his shabby appearance caused by being manhandled by fans, Kathy believes Don to be a vagrant trying to rob her, but his identity is proven by the policeman Kathy tracks down to help her. She drops him off where he needs to go, but not before claiming to be a stage actress and sneering at his undignified accomplishments as a movie star. Later, at an after-party, the head of Don's studio, R.F. Simpson, shows a short demonstration of a talking picture, but his guests are unimpressed, claiming it will never amount to anything. To Don's amusement, Kathy pops out of a cake, revealing herself to be a chorus girl. Furious at Don's teasing, she throws cake at him. Don ducks and it hits Lena in the face. Kathy flees the scene. Don becomes smitten with Kathy and searches for her for weeks. While filming a romantic scene, a jealous Lena reveals that her influence is behind Kathy's loss of work and subsequent disappearance. On the studio lot, Kathy is quietly working on another production. Don sings her a love song, and she confesses to be a fan of his all along. After rival studio Warner Brothers has a hit with its first talkie, The Jazz Singer, RF decides he has no choice but to convert Don and Lena's next film into a talkie. The production is beset with difficulties, chief among them Lena's grating voice and strong Brooklyn accent. An exasperated diction coach tries to teach her how to speak properly, but to no avail. In contrast, Don fares much better with his own coaching. The preview screening is a disaster, with the audience laughing at repeated dialogue due to awkward microphone placement and the sound going out of sync. Afterward, Kathy and Don's friend Cosmo help him come up with the idea to turn the film into a musical. The three are disheartened when they realize Lena's terrible voice remains a problem. Cosmo, inspired by the scene with out-of-sync sound, suggests they dub in Kathy's voice. RF approves the idea but tells them not to inform Lena that Kathy is doing the dubbing. Having learned the truth, an angry Lena barges in on a dubbing session. She becomes even angrier upon learning Don and Kathy are in love and plan to marry, and that RF intends to give Kathy a screen credit. Lena threatens to sue, and due to a clause in her contract, RF concedes. The premiere is a huge success. When the audience clamors for Lena to sing live, Don and Cosmo tell her to lip sync while Kathy sings behind the curtain. While Lena performs, Don, Cosmo, and RF pull the curtain to reveal the truth. A defeated Lena flees in humiliation, and Kathy tries to flee too, but Don announces she's the true star of the film. Later, Don and Kathy kiss in front of the billboard for their new movie, Singing in the Rain.
Like, what can you not say about this movie? This great movie.
This movie's great.
This is my favorite musical of all time.
It's mine as well. It's the scene with him singing the title song alone. Like, if you don't have, even if you don't have time to watch the movie, do a YouTube search. I'm sure you can just find that particular scene. It's so incredible. It's even more incredible when you find out he's sick. Mm-hmm. So, when you do rain on screen, the rain droplets are really, really big. So there's tons of water, way more than you would encounter with regular rain. Like if I think I've mentioned this before on other shows, but if you watch a live sporting event and it's raining, you can barely see the rain most of the time because the droplets are so small. That's why when they do it on film, they have these rain machines that make like huge drops of water. So, he got sick doing this, and he's out there and he just gives this incredible performance.
It's so iconic, that whole
It's so great.
routine. Actually, all the musical numbers are stellar in this movie.
And most of them are standards. They're not songs that they made for this musical.
Yeah, there's Good Morning, which is a great song.
That's a great sequence too. From what I understand, they were all really tired when they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And
which makes sense because
it's done the morning after they've kind of come up with this idea for what they're going to do. Which took all
night to do.
Right.
There's that song. There's Gotta Dance. Mm-hmm. There's also Make 'Em Laugh. Mm-hmm. The Donald O'Connor dancing, where he does these crazy dance routines where he's like dancing off the side of the wall.
Yeah, he's a great dancer, and he kind of doesn't get his due sometimes because he's overshadowed kind of by the greatest of all time.
Right.
But he's really good in this movie.
Really good. The love story is very sweet. It's kind of a cool concept for a movie, I think, that, dealing with the fact that Hollywood's going from silent films to talkies is kind of fun. And the whole dubbing thing. There was something else I just watched that had dubbing in it. They were dubbing over voices. It was Downton Abbey. Really? They had a the newest movie, I guess. They had like a movie crew come to Downton Abbey, and then they wanted to do some dubbing of voices, and they used Mary's voice.
It's actually it's not uncommon, but most of the time it's it's because there's background sound or whatever, and they bring the actor in to redub their own lines. But it's not super common to dub someone else's lines.
Well,
you do see it from time to time, like
you did see it a lot in this era in the 50s, because it was when they were doing musicals. They dubbed people's voices for other actors' voices
instead of just hiring people that could actually sing.
Yes, like The King and I. Right.
We've seen several movies that this happened.
Yeah.
It does happen from time to time. Like if you're a Star Wars fan, the guy who plays Darth Maul, his name's Ray Park, and he has kind of almost like a Cockney accent, and it's kind of high pitched. And he's dubbed out for Peter Serafinowicz.
Okay.
He's an actor you would recognize, but that kind of stuff happens too.
I should have written her name down, but the actress that plays
Lena is great.
Is great. She doesn't get her due.
I read that she based this on some part. Like there was some. It was kind of based on the same concept, but she based it on some part, which was really funny.
Okay, because she's like, I can't stand it.
Yeah. So there's some truth to this. There were a decent number of actors and actresses who could not make the transition from the silent era to the talking era.
Yep.
And you'll kind of see that, like if you look at IMDb records or whatever, you see someone who made a bunch of movies in the 20s, early 30s, and then they never made another movie again because they couldn't act using their voice.
Yeah.
They were really good. They're really good at performing with their face and their hands and expressing the film that way, but they couldn't translate it to saying lines.
Yeah. This movie is really a standout. It's very recognizable. All the music is very recognizable.
Another one from 1939. What a great year for movies.
There's 39.
Wasn't it 1939?
No, this movie was made in 52.
No, I'm thinking
this is one of the only movies from the 50s that we like.
Yeah, that's true. It's a weird decade.
Yeah.
It's especially with this particular genre, because women are important, and it's kind of not a great era for females.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
This is a fun movie. I mean, the only thing that's a little weird is the age gap. Debbie Reynolds is 19.
Oh yeah.
Gene
yeah.
Kelly's like he's got to be closing in on his 50s at that point, right?
Yeah. I don't really know, but I mean that's Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great movie, a great musical, great love story between Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds.
And this is her first movie. This is her showing up.
She did great. She kept up with fucking Gene Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, this is 1952. She was making movies up until, like, just, a few years ago when she died. She died in 2018, right?
Yeah.
She's given a lot of really memorable on-screen performances, and, right out of the gate, she gives a great performance.
I mean, I don't know what else we can say about this movie.
This
if you haven't seen this movie, even if you're not a fan of musicals,
I am not a huge fan of musicals. This movie's great.
It's really good.
Definitely recommended watch.
Please watch it.
I gave this one a 70. Jerry gave it a 77. The list score is 73.5. So again, AFI, good job picking another love story that's actually, should be pretty high on your list.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean, good on you, AFI.
Yep.
All right. If you have any comments, if you want to talk about Singing in the Rain, please leave a comment on this post. If you'd like to talk to us directly, please do so at ratingthelist@gmail.com. That's it for now. I'm Jerry.
I'm Brad.
And we're Rating the List. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.